do on this jukebox before we're all fine and dandy with everything. And we're happy that everything actually functions. So, now it's time to lift the trusty tripod back up in the air again, so that way we can see what's going on. And we'll keep our grease on because we're going to need it. Alright, so log all these feet. So, okay. So now the last thing we're going to be doing, which I'm going to try to get this move a little bit. Last thing we're going to do is right over here, in this piece. So, right now I'm going to take this off. That's what this thing here is. The gripper. The gripper arm itself, I'm going to shove some grease inside this thing. So that way the inside of this is lubed, the inside of this hole. So now we got that. Now we're going to try to do this. Okay, so we want to get inside this thing here. Nasty old stuff in there. I guess while I got a chance here, I may as well show the inside of this real quick too. Before we put our pieces back on, because we're going to need to. So, yeah, probably what we're going to have to do, we're going to have to manually do this part, but we'll show the inside here. This is going to be kind of disgusting. Away! Here we go. Crap. Okay. So now we're going to show the inside of this. That's, this is practically what it looks like inside here, so. It's got one hole drilled completely through it, and there's just a hole. So. It's got a guide pin attached to it. But just in case if anybody was curious what the inside of that looks, and I'll use it for like a future reference. So. So now, what we're going to do, we're going to we're going to turn this thing back on. Alright, so you can see everything functions now. And I want you to just have to watch it again. The thing slowed down quite a bit because of all the grease I threw in it, so now we're going to throw some grease in that. Throw it on the inside of this, put it in the inside of the rings. This nice and greased up here. It's always nice to have these things greased so that way everything moves freely, so. Because you don't want it all stiff. If we have it all stiff, it ain't gonna work right. We want this thing to move nice and free here. So. For anyone who's got a weird mind, you can say buttered corn. Butter your corns. So. Now we're gonna do this. think we're about halfway through the cycle or something like that. So this thing's gonna be like this. Alright, so now we're in play mode. So now I want to put my little gadgets back together. I'm going to put this piece back into place, which will move this a little close. I'm going to put this back into place and try to get this back in there. Okay, let's see here. See, I gotta see what all we used here. What side? Looks like we're gonna be over. This side here is lifted up, the pin side, and the ends towards the back. So we're gonna put this towards the back. So when this comes up, it'll guide itself back. Anyway. Dang it, don't want to lose that. Alright, I'm going to put this light somewhere else. Actually, don't need it anyway. I'm going to set that light to the side and I'm going to make sure I got this in the right spot. Because if I put this in the wrong spot, then there's going to be trouble. And that's one thing that we don't want is trouble. So let's see. We'll take this thing out for now. I think that's the pin that we're at right now. Let's see. Let's try this real quick here, make sure it's going to move freely first. And does it look like we're not, so we got a problem here. I'm going to see if I can fix it real fast. Damn it. That's not what I wanted to do with it. Darn it. Alright. Okay. Apparently we have some high points. So, we don't want nothing high on this thing. So, let's get this crap all over now. My hands are all greased up too. So, make sure this is going to move freely. Oh, that's nice. Alright. So we got that. So, what I'm going to do, I'm going to probably stop this thing and let it cool off for a minute. We'll be right back. And we're back. So, now what we're going to do, we're going to attempt to put our pieces for our gripper, this piece, back on. So I decided to take it out of play mode because I think that might be a little bit difficult to deal with, so I took it out of play mode. So inside of this thing up. I'm gonna add some grease to our cam thing piece here, so that way add some nice stuff to it. And we're gonna pray that our little trick actually worked. Yeah. What one of the guys did, for the piece that broke, they just drilled 2 holes, just big enough to put like little itty bitty pins in it, then slide them together so they kind of somewhat line up. I had to file a little bit because it was kind of misaligned, but got them in there, so and then he glued them so that way it stays in there. So now he's got now this piece has got glue and two pins holding this together. So, and if this doesn't work, then we'll just have to find a way to get this program into a program called Mastercam, which the program itself is very expensive. It's really so. Let's see. Trying to remember how this went. I believe it went like this. Went downwards. Okay, let's see. Let's make the button work. Alright, let's see. It's not going to move that freely on that, so. Goes on that pretty well, but it doesn't do that spot very what's darn. So that's a little snug there. So what I'm gonna have to do, I'm gonna have to fix that a little bit more. I'm gonna file this down, see if we can get this a little bit more loose. I think I'm taking stuff off. Let's see, did that work? Or did my file just too dull? Let's see. Fits up pretty snugly. That one's really stiff, so it's not going to work. Let's see. I think I may have hold it up just a bit, so. Still a little stiff, severe, but we need to have this thing just enough, so.